And Bob has some more muggy weather for us.
Well, yeah, but what the heck? It's summertime, and that's all right, eh?
Air conditioner will cool things off, though.
Oh, sure, if you can afford one.
That's right.
I tell you, almost everybody would like to take out a mortgage these days to afford one, particularly since it was so hot today. But we didn't have the humidity, which was kind of nice. You know, you could sort of stand around there, and temperatures that were 28 through 30. Whew, it was hot, hot, hot. As a matter of fact, got up to 35 over in Wasaga Beach in Collingwood today. Really, really warm. Lows tonight on the Fahrenheit scale going down into the mid-60s. The high tomorrow back up into the mid-80s. And the humidity right now is 54%. The crash and the bang, hey, thunderstorms tomorrow, at least a 70% chance right now, and that may even rise as we go through the day tomorrow. Sun will rise tomorrow morning at 5:59. Sun will set at 8:53, and the barometer is going to continue to go down. And by noon hour tomorrow should be 101.1. It's currently 101.6 at this hour. Noon hour map looks like this. Low pressure system sitting just about here on James Bay. By noon hour it should be right about there. And this little wave is right here, and it'll move over, and as it does, we'll probably get into some thunderstorms and some showers. As I said, it's only about 70% right now, but that could shoot up, and the next thing you know, boom, off they go. But look at temperatures here, more of those hot temperatures in the Carolinas tomorrow. 34 degrees, 38 in Kentucky tomorrow and Tennessee, 31 in Chicago, 39 in Dallas. And we're kind of lucky. For us, we're, you know, not doing too badly for temperatures. It'll be a hot day. 72 degrees on the Fahrenheit scale out in Winnipeg, 21 in Regina, and 21 also in Calgary, and in good old Vancouver tomorrow, 17 degrees. Now let's have a look at our jet stream. Clouds and stars through the night, and overnight lows of 17 and 18. Tomorrow we're going to have, at least we think we are, showers and thunderstorms, and it may take a little time before we get the cloud out of the road and get back into some very late afternoon, early evening sunshine, and then on into the stars overnight. Highs tomorrow 28 degrees. Long range on Saturday, less humid. Sun and clouds on Saturday and 24. On Sunday, some more sun and clouds and 25. And Monday, sun, showers, and chance of thunderstorms at plus 27. Red Star events. In Cookstown on Sunday, the TNT Players present Rumpelstiltskin. The show's in the Granary at the Chestnut Inn. Two shows, one at 3:30 and the other at 5:30. And in Midland on Saturday, the Midland Fair Board presents the Tommy Hunter Show. Admission at the door is $10. Two shows, 7 and 9:30. And coming up is your marine weather forecast.
Marine Watch is brought to you by Robertson and Robertson, exclusive brokers for the Skipper's Plan for sail, cruiser, and runabout.
New boat? Nice. But what if something happens to it? Accidents do happen. Marine insurance. But is it the Skipper's Plan? What's the difference? Not too much, until you have to make a claim. That's when the Skipper's Plan makes all the difference. They'll settle your claim fast, and they've got the expertise to have your boat salvaged, expedite repairs, do whatever it takes to get you back in your boat again. But you may never have to make a claim.
Here are the predicted water temperatures for tomorrow in Kempenfeld Bay and much of Lake Simcoe, 21, for Lake Muskoka, 24, at Wasaga Beach, 22, and in Lake Couchiching, 26. The marine synopsis. A northeast to southwest trough and wind shift line is expected to be south of Lake Huron by late tomorrow afternoon. For Lake Simcoe, Lake Couchiching, Georgian Bay, and the lakes in Muskoka, Parry Sound, Haliburton, and Lake Ontario, showers and thunderstorms tomorrow, ending by tomorrow evening. Southerly wind shifting northwesterly, 15 to 20 knots tomorrow afternoon. Wave heights from trough to crest, 1 meter to 1.5 meters. Remember, wind direction will vary with topography and daytime temperatures, and waves along the shorelines may vary considerably due to shoreline effects.
Marine Watch has been brought to you by Robertson and Robertson, exclusive brokers for the Skipper's Plan.
We'll have some showers and thunderstorms tomorrow and then get on into the sunshine. And tonight, we're almost into sports, right? So we're going to do a tip of the CKVR 2 to Dave Beauchesne, who was out at Shanty Bay Golf Club tonight, and he had a 3-wood, 240 yards, Kev, hole in one. Nice going, Dave.
240 yards, 3-wood.
That's a double eagle.
That's a double. Pretty good poke, eh?
That's 240 yards?
240.
That's 3 shots for me.
Yeah, same with me.
Who's a boomer?
Sports is coming up.
We'll be right back.
I've seen her here many times before, but I forgot all the right things to say.
I'm too old to be smitten, be Besides, it's not fitting for me to be looking his way.
Come again.
It's a good time.
Well, who knows?
For the greatest.
Okay, here goes. Excuse me, is this seat taken?
No.
Right now at Don Little Ford, you can get escorts from $73.99, 3.9%, or payments from $139 a month. Escort GT or EXP Sport from $10,899, 3.9%, or payments from just $229 a month. Or get this, Taurus from $12,299 or from $219 a month, plus 100 Tempos from just $79.99, or get $500 cash back. Call now, 884-9261, only at Don Little Ford.
Okay, let's get the whole gang together tonight.
Tonight?
Why not?
All right. I'll call Tim and Lisa.
Right, you do that, and I'll tell Vicky and Pat and Kim.
And Michelle.
Oh, we can't forget Michelle.
Music?
Mike.
Great. I'll call Joe.
And he can tell Heather.
Yeah, Heather. Good idea.
Thank you.
I'll get to Matt and Scott.
Yeah, and the Moose.
Great. And beer. Smooth beer. Schooner beer.
Good times and good friends. No smoother beer. No better taste. Schooner, come aboard.
I was mentioning before we went into the weather that there might be something new with the NHL talks.
There is.
Good. Tell us about
You're
it.
such a wise fellow, Michael. All you ravenous hockey fans who feared the worst from this week's National Hockey League contract talks in Toronto can relax. Tonight, the owners and the players reached an agreement on a 5-year collective bargaining deal. However, at this time, no details of the agreement have been announced yet. The players were seeking the same kind of free agency deal that baseball players enjoy, and the owners were talking tough, so obviously both did quite a bit of bending. Well, the smallest version of the Commonwealth Games since the Vancouver version back in the 50s gets underway tomorrow in Edinburgh, Scotland. After all of those countries that boycotted, one actually changed their mind today, at least the athletes did. Bermuda defied their country's Olympic Association and decided to compete, and you can bet if other countries that are boycotting let their athletes decide, all would be there. Anyway, they held the opening ceremonies today, and yes, we showed up. Canada, that is, led into the stadium by arguably the fastest man in the world, Ben Johnson. Competition itself gets underway tomorrow. Prince Philip was on hand in Scotland today to officially open the games. We will have highlights, by the way, of first day highlights anyway tomorrow night for a couple hours between 7 and 9 o'clock at night. On the baseball scoreboard now, kind of a light night. The Blue Jays have the evening off. They open up a series in Oakland tomorrow night. Here are the American League games for you tonight. Kansas City, Lonnie Smith broke up a scoreless game in the 8th inning with a home run, giving the Royals a 1-0 victory over the Tigers. We have got highlights of this one.
The third inning told the story in this game as the Astros scored 8 times. Here, Phil Garner hits a long drive to right field. It's over the head of Glenn Wilson and to the wall. Glenn Davis comes in to score. Kevin Bass making his way in as well as the Astros build up an 8-0 lead after 3. Meanwhile, Astros fireballer Mike Scott having a typical night, striking out 13 batters in 7 innings. Here's sending Mike Schmidt down. It was a great night for the Astros, except for this young man, Tom Funk, making his major league debut. The first batter he faces is John Russell, and he welcomes Funk into the big leagues with this solo homer to left center field. But the Astros go on to beat the Phillies 9-3. Scott Clark for NBC News.
Well, guess what? I goofed that one up. I was supposed to have the National League scores first, so we will go through the National League one. That was obviously not the Kansas City-Detroit game. We'll get to those highlights a little later. We can tell you that a 7-run first inning led the Baltimore Orioles to a 12-6 rout of the White Sox tonight. Rick Dempsey's 3-run homer capped the inning, and we definitely have highlights of this one.
We start in the bottom of the first inning. This is Rick Dempsey providing a big blow for the Orioles. Here's slamming one off Joe Colley with 2 men aboard. Good for a 3-run homer. The Orioles scored 7 times in the first inning to take a 7-0 lead. Now the home run derby continues. After a solo shot by Jim Traber in the second, Lee Lacy connects off Bill Dawley in the third for another 3-run homer. 11-0 Orioles. Harold Baines hurts his back and later had to leave the game. In the top of the 4th inning, Mike Flanagan coasting along with an 11-2 lead when Greg Walker hits a fly ball deep to center. Fred Lynn goes back to the wall. He'll catch it, but then the ball skirts out of his glove. Lynn collides with the wall. 2-run homer for Walker. Lynn was okay, and so were the Orioles. They beat the White Sox 12-6. Scott Clark for NBC News.
Wall beat up on some of the players tonight. Texas over Cleveland 7-3. Mike Loyne made his major league debut as Texas snapped that 7-game losing streak, winning this one. Loyne allowed 3 runs in 6 innings to get the win. Here's the highlights.
We pick it up in the bottom of the second inning. The Rangers up 1-0. Phil Niekro's knuckleball just wasn't working on this night. Curtis Wilkerson sends it flying to right center field. He misses a home run by just a few feet, but it allows Don Slott to come home from third, and then Steve Buechele gets the go sign. He'll slide in safely as well. The Rangers took the early lead 3-0. Next up, the case of the fair or foul ball. Rangers' Gary Ward swings big, but the ball goes rolling down the line, going foul, going fair, going foul. Nope, it stays fair. Gary Ward gets a base hit. Hey, what the heck, he'll take it. The Indians perplexed by the pitching of Mike Loyne making his major league debut. Here he gets Andre Thornton. The Rangers lead 7-3.
Okay, on to the National League scores now. Montreal completed the game that was suspended about 2 or 3 weeks ago with Cincinnati, and they ended up losing 10-2, the final score in that game. In the regular game, they're now in the 14th inning. The Expos have taken a lead 6-5. Los Angeles and Pittsburgh, the Dodgers whipped the Pirates 9-2 to complete a sweep of that 3-game series. Franklin Stubbs homered twice, and Bill Madlock and Jeff Hamilton also had homers. Fernando Valenzuela was the winner, limiting the Pirates to 5 hits over 7 innings. Dodgers scored 4 runs in the first against loser Bob Walk, and Houston over Philadelphia 9-3. You already saw the highlights of that one a little earlier. Well, thanks to the folks that put together the Guinness Book of World Records. There are a lot of folks out there who will do lots of strange things to get their name in the book, and such is the case of a Metro Toronto slow pitch team.
Last month, 2 teams in Los Alamos, New Mexico made their way into the Guinness Book of World Records by playing 100 consecutive hours of slow pitch baseball. And here at home, the Howard Johnson Marathoners of Scarborough have launched their effort at becoming the first single team to hit the century mark in consecutive hours played. The Marathoners will take on 50 different opponents day and night until this Sunday afternoon, when they will have reached their grueling goal. And it's up to manager Bob Dallas to keep his players on their feet.
My theory is positive thinking, positive results. Just talking to them, working with them. They have a power sleep every 9 hours, which for about 15 minutes. I take them back by limo to the hotel. They get bandaged up, they have a quick shower, and they rest, and then they're back on the field again. It's a lot of positive thinking.
The money raised here at Toyota Park through food sales, donations, and sponsors will go to the Birchmount Center for the Mentally Handicapped. The goal, $25,000. And while Dallas wants that victory off the field, he's also looking for wins on it.
I want 50% of the games. I won't be disappointed if I don't get them. I want the 25,000. I want the 100 hours. That's good, but we're gonna do our best.
In Scarborough, Ken Daniels, CBC Sports.
Chris Johnson shot a 5 under par 67 to take the first round lead at the Du Maurier Golf Classic near Toronto. It is the last of the LPGA's Tour 4 major events, very big. In second place is Joanne Carner at 3 under. 4 players are tied at 2 under. That's Patty Sheehan, Kathy Morse, Kathy Johnson, and Nancy Scranton. Top Canadian is Nancy White, who shot a 71. Joy McAvoy, an amateur, also Canadian, is in at 72. And Don Cohen, Barb Bumkowski are in at 73. CBC's Don Martin was there for the early part of round 1, and he has this report.
Just as the veterans have dominated the major events on the PGA Tour this season, so too it looked like the veteran Sandra Palmer would dominate the opening round of the final LPGA major of the year, the Du Maurier Classic. But instead, Patty Sheehan made up 4 strokes on the final few holes and came into her 18th with an early 1-stroke lead at 2 under par, playing in the same group with Palmer, who at one point was 4 under par, but bogeyed 3 holes in a row starting on her 14th and settled for a 1 under par 71 for a share of second place, part of a large group behind Patty Sheehan, one of the LPGA Tour's all-time top 10 money winners. Sheehan finishing up on the front with a par and an opening round 70 for an early 1-stroke lead.
I basically tried to hit a lot of greens and not make mistakes, and I'd made a few mistakes that have gotten me in trouble before. So, you know, I just basically try to hit a lot of greens and be real calm. I love this area. It reminds me of my home in Vermont, so I feel very calm here, and I'm pretty much at peace with myself.
At the Du Maurier Classic, this is Don Martin, CBC Sports.
Lots more golf news this evening. David Jukes of Toronto has advanced to the 3rd round of match play at the U.S. Junior Amateur Golf Championship in Dublin, Ohio. In his first round match, Jukes defeated Jean-Paul Hebert of Houston. He then ousted Hub Goyen of Arizona in the second round. Brendan Little of St. Thomas, Ontario was a first-round loser against Phil Mickelson of California. And Jim Rutledge of Victoria is 2 shots back after the first round of the Buick Open in Grand Blanc, Michigan. Rookies Davis Love and Bill Perot each shot 7 under par 65s to share the lead. They are 1 shot ahead of Ed Fiore. Dan Hallerson of Brandon, Manitoba carded a 72, while Dave Barr of BC is at 76. And Frank Fowler of Battleford, Saskatchewan, won the Canadian Professional Golfers Association Senior Championship in Winnipeg. On the CFL scoreboard quick this evening, Winnipeg defeated Calgary 24-20 out west in the game you may have seen here on CKVR. Montreal came back to defeat Ottawa 29-28. Pretty good football game. That's sports.
Thank you, Kevin. Quick weather word, Bob?
Looks like we're in for some showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. Then we'll get on to the sunshine during the weekend.
Total News reports next at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon with Tom Hayes and Carla Gillies. Until then, for Bob McIntyre and Kevin, I'm Mike Yaworski. Good night.